I'm Nick from Fire Wrangler. Today we are cooking with Cowboy, and we got some amazing tri-tips here. They're big, they're beautiful, and they've been marinating for the last 3 or 4 hours in red wine. Now, I love cooking Santa Maria style. The grill that's behind me is a Santa Maria grill. It's a Cowboy style grill. This style originated in Argentina. It got kind of transformed on the Central California coast in Santa Maria, so that's why it's called a Santa Maria style grill. And one of the most traditional ways to cook Santa Maria is cooking something like tri-tip. Now, one thing I like to do on my recipe that's not traditional Santa Maria is I like to marinate it in wine. I'm a big wine guy. I love Central California wine, and I feel like that flavor mixed with tri-tip and some real simple seasonings really takes this recipe to the next level. So we're gonna get these on the Santa Maria, but before we do that, we gotta mix up some seasoning. Now, if you don't have some Fire Wrangler cattle call handy, you can make something real simple at home. We're doing salt and pepper and some dried parsley. Now you're probably saying, where's the garlic? Here's the trick. I actually hit these with garlic before I put them into the wine, so the marinade was actually wine and garlic together, so they're already wine infused and they're already garlic infused. Now I'm a big believer that you can season these real heavy, and the reason being is because we're cooking over live fire. So a lot of that stuff is gonna fall off onto the grate into the fire. It's gonna infuse it with flavor, but it is gonna come off the meat. It's also a pretty thick cut of meat, so it can take a lot of seasoning. Like I said, we're cooking with Cowboy today, so we got some good oak and hickory lump in the Santa Maria grill behind us. We're also gonna throw some hickory wood underneath it to get as much smoke as we can into this tri-tip. Going on the grill. You got a big grill here, and these cuts of meat, as big as they are, don't fill it up, so we like to throw some color. We'll char some peppers off, we'll char some tomatoes off. Not only does it go great with a meal, but it looks really pretty. Now, unlike a kettle, Santa Maria is controlled not with air vents, but with the up and down of the actual cooking grate. So I like to cook these in what I think is about 325 or 350 degrees. And the way I tell that, by taking off my glove and hold my hand over the fire, if I can hold it there for more than about 2.5 or 3 seconds, it's not hot enough, so adjust your grate as needed. Here's the trick on getting the perfect sear on your tri-tip. You got to use oil. We pulled these tri-tips early, about 115-ish or so, because that gives us 10 or 15 degrees that we can build some crust without overcooking the tri-tip. Now, I normally like my steaks medium rare, but tri-tip, you really got to get up into the 135-ish range to be able to break down all the stuff that's inside, because if not, it gets a little chewy. So we got a lot of room to move here, but we got to build that crust because that's my favorite part of the tri-tip. I brushed the first side with oil, and that's the side that's going fire down first. Now, if you got a can of spray oil, you can use that as well. It makes it nice and quick, but this olive oil, when you brush it on, gets real heavy too. So either way works. I'm going on that fire and it's ripping hot right now. Now I count to about 30 or 40 seconds, and then I oil the top and flip. 30 or 40 seconds, I oil that side and flip, and I keep going until I like the crust. I do keep my thermometer handy. I don't like to get it over 135. Now we're using olive oil today. You can use whatever your favorite oil is. Avocado works great, canola works great. The trick is just letting that oil on the fire mix and do what they do. That's the bark you want right there. There's something so awesome about a tri-tip because it's super simple, really basic flavors, a really good beefy cut of meat. This is gonna be awesome. There's one thing that you can screw up this far into the cook though, and it's slicing it. Just like a brisket, there's 2 muscles that come together in a tri-tip, and if you slice it all the same direction, you're gonna have some that works out great and some that's really chewy. So I wanna show you how to slice it. If you'll notice the grain run right here, it kind of fans out, and then it switches direction right in the middle, and it runs the other way. So my technique is finding where that grain divides, which is right about here, and I slice it right in the middle. Now what I can do is I can turn and get my slices out of this side, and then when that's done, turn and get my slices out of this side and fan them out, and every single bite will be super tender. But first, look at that right there. You got your fat rendered, nice medium rare on the inside, beautiful crunchy bark on the outside. That couldn't turn out any better. I can't wait to try it. That's it right there. It's unbelievable flavor you're gonna get out of this. You can get this recipe and more at cowboycharcoal.com. Until next time, keep cooking with Cowboy.